right up against it. And there weren't any shades or drapes. We went and bought drapes, and I had to remember to close the drapes, you know. and picked my times to get dressed. I quickly learned to pull the drapes. And the first parsonage was a remodeled structure with a back door that was 5 feet tall, and Ed was 6 feet tall. Ouch! He forgot to duck. Then we moved on to a bigger church, a 3-point circuit, and left the short door behind. But Ed said he had something to remember it by. A concussion. A medical problem that was resolved by drilling holes in his head at the Veterans Administration Hospital. After the surgery, the local Baptist pastor found George toddling along with he thought it was a cigarette in his mouth. It was he always had a piece of limb going in his mouth. He thought he resembled the Baptist preacher that way. And he said to George, he asked if his dad was feeling better, and George said yes. He went to the veterinarian hospital, and they let the steam out of his head. And then the preacher asked him, the Baptist preacher said, do you want to, when you grow up, do you want to be a preacher? And he said, no, I want to be a working man. And I'll have to tell you something else about George since he's not here. We had been to a service at another one of our churches out of town and came back this church, and they didn't have a pianist that Sunday. They asked me if I would do that. So all right, if you'll take care of little George. And so the lady said yes, and it was near, the spinet piano was near the pulpit, and up there high, and it was sideways to the congregation, and all of a sudden, George had sneaked up the stairway, got away from the lady that was taking care of him, sneaked away and up the stairs behind me, and I didn't see him. He climbed up on the preacher's pew, a little new pew that a preacher was sitting in, and he didn't see George. And he climbed up on the spinet piano that was about the size of this. And he with both hands and knees, he crawled around that until he got to me and just put his face up in front of me and started laughing. And the congregation was laughing too. They saw him. His dad didn't see him. And I said, I would play, and I had to watch the notes real well before I did play. I said, get down, George. Get down, George. And so I did that until the first song ended, and then my husband saw him and removed him. That was so funny. It wasn't funny to me then. And so, let's see. There was, it seems, let's see, we moved into a parsonage that needed painting. I was so embarrassed the way it looked up and down the street. It was awful looking. And so I found a little bucket of paint in the closet. I said, oh, well, I could paint the entrance there real quick, and that would take away some of the embarrassment. So I did that, and then I was so proud of it. And then the next morning I went out, the sun was shining on it, and it had turned what they call a passionate pink. place to live, so they didn't want to spend some money on it. But when they took the offering, this real nice lady put in a check with a note, said, it was a generous offering, said, "This is to be used for painting the parsonage only." So, and we had a bathtub thing. Am I running over? When we moved to far western Oklahoma, they tried to get rid of us, but they didn't quite make I couldn't get bath water or anything without leaves and limbs and everything in it. And I reported somebody, and one Saturday morning here came these people. I heard them, so I got dressed and went out there, and I had just gotten my tub of water ready for myself. And the wife of one of the men came. I said, "Come in here. I want you to see what I was talking about." And she looked at that tub, and she was kind of confused. I was really dirty. No, I have not used that tub of water yet. That's how it is. And so she said, "We'll do something immediately." So she was a well witcher. Is that what she's done? So she witched a well out in the backyard. And after we got an appointment to another church, and we went to move out, and they were digging the well then, and so they got fresh water out of that. I've been through so many things like that. I just don't know.